Yeah, I haven't talked to my parents yet. They're on their way in. I've got a chance to visit with Aaron yesterday before all of our workouts. I know that it's busy time right now. We got our things to get prepared for the game and this series. So yeah, it was good to see him, but it's time to play baseball now.
Are you guys able to turn the page like that? I mean, when it comes time to play, pretty much it's on, kind of like it was during the season, right?
Yeah, we know our business that we have to take care of. We know how to get prepared, and then ultimately it's about enjoying the game. It's about playing the game that we love.
We've talked a lot about your defense and the great job you've done handling this pitching staff throughout, but your offense also has been really impactful. You finished the season off really strong, and you've been able to carry that into the postseason. How fun has it been for you to be able to contribute on that side as well, and how important has it been for you to be able to do that at the bottom of the lineup and make such an impact?
Yeah, these games have been a lot of fun. I mean, the energy's there. We're ready. I mean, every pitch matters. It just takes to a new level. And I'm really enjoying that and getting to into these at bats, deep into these at bats and having a lot of fun, because it's it's a lot of competition between you and the pitcher, and the situations are always big, and that's what it's all about. One pitch at a time, enjoying the at bat, getting as far into the at bat as you can and seeing who wins.
Annie.
Austin, you and Yu Darvish used PitchCom for the first time in his last start, right? How did that work with him having so many pitches? How are you guys able to utilize it well, and do you think you'll use it again today?
I'm not sure what we're going to do. I know the game plan kind of changes depending on the opponent and what our game plan is going into that day. We'll see what happens with the PitchCom and how we decide to use it, but we haven't decided that yet.
Specifically, the history of you catching your brother, because you weren't a catcher until so late in your career. Have you done that at any point in any sort of competition or game, or and what that was like?
You're saying, have I caught him in an actual game before?
In any setting, yeah.
I've caught him in a ton of bullpens.
Okay, but in a game setting?
Never in a game. Never. We never played. When I was in college at LSU, I was an infielder. He was a pitcher, so I never got a chance to catch him. So I just catch him in off-season bullpens.
So having caught him in off-season bullpens, and his stuff probably better than anyone in the Padres clubhouse, is there anything you can take away from that?
I know his stuff very well. Yeah, I've caught most all of his bullpens last year, and we talk a lot about pitching, and he's helped me a lot with the catching standpoint for sure, because he's been doing this a long time at a high level. His knowledge of the game, of hitters, of how to pitch hitters, what he needs from a catcher is second to none. So I use a lot of his knowledge and wisdom, teach me.
You mentioned your parents. How do they plan on dressing for the game? Is it going to be like one Padres, one Phillies?
I think
jersey?
When you're coming to a stadium full of brown and gold, I would say Padres would be the right move. So when you're in San Diego, right? And when you go to Philly, you might probably should hide a little bit of that. So I'm not sure. I mean, you'll have to. I'm sure the camera will be on them, and we'll see what they're wearing. But they're preparing for that. I'm sure how to respond to that moment.
Also, just once the series obviously gets underway tonight, will you have any contact with your brother? Will you guys text back and forth, or are you just going to kind of shut it down during the actual games? I'm
not sure. I know with our jobs and how much demanding out of us that it's probably going to be very minimal. I'm definitely going to see my parents for sure, but I'm not sure with the day game tomorrow and he's pitching and how that's going to work. Maybe the off day in Philadelphia will connect, but as far as the games go, we're pretty busy.
Gave you that strikeout ball the first time he met you. Where do you keep that ball? He gave it to you for Christmas. Where do you keep that now?
I think I gave it to my dog. No, it's in one of the memorabilia we have of that time last year, the first time it ever happened. So, yeah, we have some pictures and some things from that game and from previous games.
And you got him this year. Do you have any plans for revenge?
I do have some plans for it. Haven't revealed them yet, but I'm sure it'll come at Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Austin, with your own pitching staff, you got some pretty well-established starters there. When you got here in 2020 and then they added those three guys, how did that process go in terms of understanding how to work with 3 or 4, I guess, with Mike, pretty established starters, and what makes each of them effective?
They all have their strengths, what they do really well and what they've done well for a long time. Our guys feed off each other. You see the leadership in the starters and the leadership in the bullpen. So they do have some strengths and similarities as well, the way they attack, the way their game plan. And I think that's interesting in how it works because they came in with strengths and weaknesses, but they are able to work together with each other through their leadership and through their cooperation to create one of the best staffs in the game. It's fun to catch.
Also, with Darvish specifically, is that a challenge or is it fun when you deal with a pitcher who has so many different options and can freelance out there when he needs to?
I think it's a lot of fun because you can make adjustments in the at bat of what you see because there's always another pitch, another speed, another spin. What happens a lot of times with guys with just 1 or 2 pitches or 3 pitches is that if you got a hitter who's stuck in between speeds, a hitter that you've got, he's on the fastball but he's taking the breaking ball. With Darvish, you can throw something that mimics what he's on, but it's not quite the pitch or the speed that. It's deceptive. I think he creates a lot of deception with the different speeds and pitches types that he has.
Fact of the matter is one of you guys is going to be in the World Series and the other is going to be, dealing with some disappointment, but I would imagine excited for the other. Knowing what you know about yourself and your brother, how do you think you guys will kind of handle that dynamic once the time comes in terms of maybe being present at games, that sort of thing, being supportive in whatever way while dealing with kind of the disappointment as well?
Yeah, I haven't really thought that far. I'm focused on game tonight, doing what we can do tonight to come out on top and shake hands. I don't even want to think about the feeling or anything like that. I just want to use whatever we have here, the motivation to get through tonight and have a lot of fun and enjoy the game tonight.
Austin, on the Thursday on the off day before you play Game 3 in Philadelphia, any plans for the whole family to get together for dinner that night?
It depends on how the first 2 games go.
And second part, does it work out well, the fact that you guys are in different time zones, or you probably got to see a lot of his games and you probably got to see a lot of yours?
So he gets to see more of mine. I don't get to see hardly any of his because of our schedule here. Because you got to watch. We have BP and everything working into it, but he gets to watch a lot of my games. He doesn't go to bed till later. So I haven't got to watch a ton of his games. It's even over his career. It's been crazy with our time schedules and how we've been across the country for so long.
Yeah, Austin, you're kind of obviously in that land between the brother code and your teammate, the code with your teammates. I noticed a couple questions ago, you were real general about what kind of advice last winter you gave to Austin or to Aaron. You didn't get specific with us. Do you get specific with your teammates? Can you and will you say if you gave them a little more specifics than you just answered with us on what advice you gave Aaron?
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way in that this is important. We want to win. We're competitors. We love each other. He'll probably say the same thing. We love each other. We want each other to do the best. But when it comes to game time, we flip the switch. It's our teammates. We want to win. And he's going to do whatever he can to get me out. I don't know if you saw whenever he pitches against me, it's game time. I'm not letting you off the hook one bit. And he'll tell you straight up. He told me straight up, I'm trying to strike you out. I told him straight up, I'm trying to hit the ball right back at you. And it's always been like that. Whenever I was younger, I created this. I wanted him to be I want him to have that edge a little bit. So he's used that edge, and I think that's important because it's what he's very successful. So I know he's going to give everything he can to his teammates to get, to beat us, and I'm going to do everything I can for us to win.
So you might be a little more specific in the clubhouse with what your brother's trying to do and what adjustments he's made than you have given up with us.
Possibly.
The guy who's going against him tomorrow, Blake Snell, he's kind of turned his season around since kind of the midway point. What's been the biggest difference for him in that second half?
Blake has some of the best stuff in the league, hands down. Ask any hitter. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, different speeds, the uniqueness of what Blake does, how tall he is, how the ball gets on you, the release point, everything. It's scary when his stuff's in the zone. It's scary, and I think when he gets his pitches in the zone, watch out. He's the real deal.
So that was the biggest difference for you, just getting the pitches in the zone?
When he gets his pitches in the zone, he's the real deal.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.